Can we get the chat up here too? All right, I'm gonna allow some time for everybody to get back. I've seen a lot of eager folks jumped in the chat as soon as we started. Had some technical difficulties, but we are here. So I'm gonna just allow a few moments for everybody to get here so we can talk some football. What up? What up? What up? What's up, chat? Let me know how we feeling. Let me know how we feeling as we enter the chat. Please like on your way in or be kicked out. That's how we doing it. We got security at the virtual door. So like on your way in or be kicked out. And share to all your folks, all the football heads that you know in your family, your friend group. Share it. Let them know. Get their butts over here. Let's talk. Let's have this conversation before Monday Night Football. That's why we set up at 6:00, so we can have this conversation. Then you can go and enjoy your Monday Night Football. All right. So I'll wait just a few more moments before I get into this weekend of football. Come on in. Come on in. Let's get it. All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the set. I am your host, T. Stead. I really just like saying that. I'll stop saying that at some point, but we're still early. We're still young, so I'm gonna let you know who you're talking to. All right, we had a lot of really good football played this weekend. We opened up the week. We opened up the NFL season Thursday with Cowboys and Eagles. Transitioned down to Sao Paulo, Brazil for Chiefs and Chargers. And then we had a whole slate of games all Sunday to kick off week 1 of the 2025 NFL season. A lot of really good football was played. A lot of really bad football was played as well. Honestly speaking, it was an up and down weekend going across the games, every game from every team. Some teams look ready. They look like they were mid-season form. Some teams came out the way that you would want to start a season. But for the most part, there's a lot of unfortunate plays, a lot of rust to be knocked off. We're going to start this show off tonight. I'm gonna cover the league, and like every game that I watch and pay close attention to, I'll share. But tonight we're gonna start off with some Miami Dolphins. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into the Miami Dolphins, guys. We're not gonna shy away from what happened Sunday in the season opener for the Miami Dolphins. So let's get into that conversation. We do. And in the chat, you share with me what you thought about the game, what you thought about the performance, offensively, defensively, special teams, individually. You let me know. I'll be looking. Shout out to Knight. I appreciate it. What is it about me that things lead to so many? Knight, I'm gonna answer your question. You said, what is it about Miami that you think leads to so many injuries? It just seems like we're always so riddled with them. Shout out, Knight. I'll get to your question. I'll get to your question for sure. Let's talk about the game. I went back and watched the film. So I didn't see the game live. I saw on my phone as I was trying to keep up with the game and some other games, but I was at the Saints game. I was at the New Orleans Saints season opener down in New Orleans against the Arizona Cardinals. So I didn't see the game live. I came back when I got back to Dallas and I watched the game. I watched both sides of the ball, so I'll be able to give you, from my perspective, what I saw and how the game turned out the way that it did. I'll be honest. I did not see it going this way. Not for 1 second. Before the kickoff Sunday, I did not anticipate looking at that score and seeing 33-8 in favor of the Indianapolis Colts. So I was shocked. I was taken aback by what I saw as I was getting updates from the score and then the final score, seeing 33-8. I did not anticipate that from my Miami Dolphins to start the season. It really was it was BTA. It was BTA. And not in a way that they were ran off the field. The Colts came in and handled business in all three phases. And they started the season off the way that you would want to play ball. It was a convincing, strong performance, a great win by the Colts. But what happened? The Dolphins didn't score till late in the fourth quarter. Devon Achane off to the right side. Great play by him. I think it was 23-0 at halftime. These things I did not see this happening. So I rushed to the film to figure it out. Like, all right, what really took place? So as I'm watching the film and we're getting into it, and it's actually not too complex what happened and how we became on the wrong side of this thing, honestly. Turnovers. That'll do it. Turnovers alone will do it. Interceptions, fumbles, turnovers alone will do it, especially when you're not creating them on the other end. If you're not getting turnovers on the other end and you're turning the ball over, you're going to lose every game, no matter who you're playing, no matter how good you are. You go -3 in a turnover battle, you're going to lose. Maybe not 33-8, but you're going to lose. So this game, as I'm watching it, and I finished both sides of the ball, it was really like the perfect storm for the Colts. And for this game to play out the way that it did, like they played nearly a perfect game. They dominated the ball. You think about this. On average, while I was in Miami, the Miami Dolphins offense, we played about 65 to 75 snaps a game. On average, for the 3 years I was in Miami, we played 65 to 75 snaps per game. Tua played 38 snaps. He had 38 plays. The Dolphins offense had 46 plays. The Colts offense had 70 plays. I'll say that again. The Dolphins offense had 46. Tua had 38 plays. The Colts offense had 70 plays, 70 snaps. That's 70 opportunities to go put points on the board. They more than doubled the Dolphins offense in first downs. They averaged at least 10 plays a drive. Those are very long, sustained drive. In order for you to do that on a consistent basis, so over 10 plays a drive, that's not normal. You have to be executing at a very high level. Minimal penalties, minimal negative plays, making great decisions on third down, converting on third downs. They did all that. They ran the ball 40 times. The Colts offense ran the ball 40 times. So they almost doubled the Dolphins offense in snaps. They ran the ball 40 times. They had 6 explosive runs, but outside of those 6 explosives, they really couldn't run the ball on Miami. So it's crazy to see the stat line and then you see the score. But looking at the stat line, the Colts just had the ball. They possessed the ball the entire game. The most frustrating part to me about watching the game and then looking at the stat sheet, the Dolphins offense ran the ball so goddamn good, very well. The Dolphins offense averaged 6.5 yards a carry. You hear that and you think, man, it's a great day for the offense. But the only issue, we only was able to get 12 carries. Only 12 carries because limited snaps, and you're playing from behind. You can't sit and hand the ball off to Achane, to Ollie Gordon when you're down 20 points. You just cannot do it. The clock is running more when you're running the ball. The clock is running nonstop if you're running the ball. So you have to start to pass the ball. And you get into a situation where you become one-dimensional. You have to pass to start to try to come back. That's what turnovers do to your offense. So the fact that the Dolphins got behind so early, turnovers in the first few series, the Colts having long sustained drives, scoring points early in the game. It was 17-0 before you knew what was going on. So that almost eliminates the run game. Dolphins averaging 6.5 yards a carry, but we're only able to run the ball 12 times because you're playing from behind. That's what turnovers do to you. It's the ultimate, like, it cripples you. It cripples the offense. It handicaps what you're able to do from a play caller standpoint. You become one-dimensional. Offensively, that's what happened. And that it didn't start the game that way. Like, that wasn't the Dolphins' plan to come in and have to throw the ball X amount of times. You running the ball that well, you want to keep running the ball. But you're down 17, 20, 23. You have to pass to catch up. How did they get down? How did the Dolphins get down so fast? Turnovers. And it's so unfortunate that it's the first game. All this anticipation has been built up throughout the whole offseason. And we're ready. We're excited. The adrenaline is up. The nerves are up at kickoff. I know all these Dolphins fans are excited, man. They're excited to watch their team. They're waiting to root and celebrate. And the game started the way it does. Tua throws an interception, I believe, on the first series. A pass got away from, sailed high, interception. The Colts turned all those turnovers into points. Tua had two really bad throws. The one that sailed over Tyreek and was intercepted by the safety. And one, he was trying to extend the play. He never saw the defensive end, who made a great play, very athletic play in space, and picked them off. And then also the fumble. So those 3 turnovers is what made the Dolphins have to be one-dimensional for the rest of the game. And on the Colts side, they're possessing the ball the entire game. They're getting timely first downs, play after play. Like, the Dolphins' defense will get a tackle for loss, even a sack. Chubb got a sack, I believe, in the second quarter. This was the story of the game. This was the timeline of the game. And this is how it worked and how we come away with a 33-8 box score. The Colts march down the field. Chubb get a sack in the red zone. He gets a huge sack in the red zone, 10-yard loss on Daniel Jones. Nice inside move on the left tackle, sack. The next play, touchdown. Daniel Jones hits a touchdown pass, double move on the outside, touchdown. That was the sequence of the game. Every time the Dolphins defense would make a play, put themselves in position and get off the field, the Colts responded with what seemed to be the perfect response. Like, they executed at Daniel Jones was impressive. He balled out. He did. He played well. He played extremely well. He any time, any critical moment, any third down that could have made the game turn into a different game, to get the momentum back. It's a game of momentum. It's ebbs and flows in football. Every game, every week, ebbs and flows. The Dolphins were not able to get or stay in a peak of momentum. As soon as they would have a good play and they start to get going, Colts responded. They played really well. They played really well. Now, back to the Dolphins offense, Tua had some bad throws. He had a couple throws that got away from him that I know he wants back. He had we had some misassignments. We had some misassignments that every team, I'm sure, had some throughout this first week. Every team, I'm sure, they had misassignments throughout this first week where somebody went the wrong way or somebody thought they had this person when they had this person. Every team, I'm sure. What happened with the Dolphins is every time it was a misassignment, it was a direct negative impact to the play, where it equated to something really, really bad happening. Like some teams or sometimes you can have a missed assignment. You can completely not block a guy and a play can still go your way. Sunday, that did not happen. Every mistake was magnified. And you can't do nothing but give the coach credit for that. They really took advantage of every opportunity. Daniel Jones had one bad throw. He had a bad throw where on a receiver screen, the ball sailed completely over the receiver, out of bounds. The next drive, Tua has a bad throw. The ball sails completely over the receiver. It's intercepted. That was the game. Like, that really was how the game went. It just felt like every time the Dolphins made a mistake, it was magnified. Every mistake that the Colts made was minimized. And it's a lot of things to point to, and we'll get more specific. I'm just giving you like the flow of the game. I'm giving you the flow of the game. And how it was really just the Colts just kept the momentum. They never let the Dolphins get a chance to storm back. It was one opportunity. I think it was 17-0. The Colts were in their own territory. Daniel Jones throws a pass across the middle. It was jumped by Rasul Douglas, and he dropped their interception. This is how funny NFL football is. And we can what if to death for sure. But if we're able to get that interception right there, Rasul Douglas, if he jumps that intercept and he makes the interception, maybe it's 10-0. He jumped that play, he get that interception. Dolphins get the ball in Colts territory, so already in the red zone. It's a completely different game. We never have this discussion. But dropped interception turned into a touchdown for the Colts. So it's 17-0. So instead of you getting the ball in your red zone now, and it could potentially be 10-7, it turns into 17-0. And they never was able to pick up or cover any ground, gain any ground after that. For the Colts offense, they did a really good job of protecting Daniel Jones. So I'm looking at the score, the box score, before I get to the film, and I'm like, how I felt like the Dolphins front would be able to wreak havoc and affect Daniel Jones. And they really wasn't able to do much. They were able to keep the front at bay through extra blockers and through quick decisions. Daniel Jones and the Colts offense, they took the space. Honestly, they just took the open space in the zone. And man, Tyler Warren was a problem. A problem. Every third down, every gotta have it situation, they found Tyler Warren, and he converted. He was getting yards after catch. He balled. The rookie out of Penn State, Tyler Warren had a phenomenal day. And some of the other receivers too, the young playmakers that they had, they made plays. But in protection, it wasn't like these guys are getting one-on-one lockdown. They sent the running back to help. Every time Chop was lined up wide to pass rush, a running back went and chipped him. So every time he was on the right tackle and he tried to go pass rush and let's get to the quarterback, they kept tight ends in, running backs, slide help. They really looked to protect Daniel Jones. And in times that the Dolphins sent pressure, they had quick answers. So Daniel Jones did a really good job. He did. He executed really well. He settled in. He was out to prove and make sure that Anthony Richardson don't get his job back. And he made plays with his legs as well. Made all the necessary plays. So I can't really give Daniel Jones any more credit. He played a really, really good game. And for the Dolphins defense, it's like nobody was out there being targeted. They didn't, hey, we're going to pick on this guy, or this person had a terrible game. This is how they kept scoring. Man, they went 4 yards, 5 yards, 2 yards, 10 yards. Like they really methodically marched down the field, kept the Dolphins defense on the field, limited the Dolphins offense opportunities. And when the Dolphins got offensive opportunities, they turned the ball over. So it wasn't a we can't do nothing or we can't stop them. They made the necessary plays. It was very much complimentary football on the Colts part. Offense keep the ball, keep the time of possession. They dominated time of possession. 70 plays for the Colts offense, 46 plays for the Dolphins. Dominated time of possession. And through those opportunities and limited opportunities for the Dolphins, 3 turnovers. 3 turnovers. Nobody individually got their ass whooped. Like I watched the tape. Watch the tape. Nobody man on man got their ass whooped. Colts executed better for sure. They did. They executed better. They made the necessary plays. Dolphins' mistakes were magnified. Colts' mistakes were minimized, and they were able to respond. Any negative play, tackle for loss, any miscue, minimized. They made the play the next snap. Now we talk. If in the chat, if you guys want me to get into anything specific, because first and foremost, if you're looking for a space where it's going to be a Dolphins bashing, this is not the spot. It's not the spot. If you're looking for a space where it will be a bashing of any players or any teams, it's not the spot. If you want to talk football and like really what happened on the field, how did the game become so one-sided? This is your place to be. This is your place to be. If you want a perspective where I can talk in the trenches, O-line, D-line, even outside too. I can talk the outside game as well. If you want a perspective of that, like the actual football, welcome to the set. But if you want the hot take, oh, this guy sucks, he needs to be out the league, fire him, fire them, fire that. That's not going to be this play. That's not going to be this show. It won't be this show. So I'll let you decide. I'll let you decide. Now, if you guys have anything specific that you want me to get into, you can drop it in the chat. I'm willing to dive deeper into maybe individual performances. And but yeah, so I'm really speaking on the flow of the game. The Dolphins playmakers didn't make plays. They didn't make necessary plays. And they also had very limited opportunities to make the plays because of turnovers, self-inflicted turnovers, and because of Colts offensive execution. So they did not have many ops to do much. They ran the ball extremely well, only 12 carries. Why only 12 carries? You're down early because of turnovers. So all these self-inflicted wounds, the self-inflicted issues that put them in position where they had to become one-dimensional, while turning the ball over, it was the perfect storm. The Colts could not have drawn that game up to go any better. Any better. It played out to a T, like perfectly for them and their style of play. Slow, methodical offense. Hand it off to Jonathan Taylor. Let him get 4 yards. Throw a check down to Tyler Warren. Let him get 6 yards. I'm not the smartest man in the world, but that's a first down. And they did that over and over and over. On the Dolphins side, on their offense, hit a good play, hit a good run. Miss on second down, turnover. Ball right back to the Colts. You don't see the ball again for 12 plays, 13 plays. When you get the ball again, you run 4 plays, 5 plays, turnover. Colts get the ball. You don't see the ball again for 14 plays. So they really dominated the ball. It wasn't, honestly speaking, it wasn't any individual performance that stood out to me that was alarming. Tyler Warren, his performance was nice. It was nice. He played a really good game. Daniel Jones played a really good game. Jonathan Taylor, solid game. But it wasn't a domination in no facets of the word, like no part of the explanation. I'm preparing to play calls too. I see a lot of the comments in the chat, and keep talking to me. Keep talking to me. I'm reading it. We're talking about it. Comment about Tyreek's deep shots being taken away by player mistakes. Can you highlight what exactly he means by that? Not asking the badge. We're generally curious. All right, Knight, I got you. Knight asks, can I comment about Tyreek's deep shots being taken away by player mistakes? Can you highlight what exactly he means by that? Not asking them. Okay. It goes back to what I said about limited opportunities, and every mistake by the Dolphins on Sunday was magnified. So couple deep shots, deep call shots to Tyreek and Waddle, which we don't know the outcome of the play. If they would have been able to catch the ball when we see single coverage, we see Tyreek got a chance to beat one guy, which we like those chances. We like those odds. We see Waddle get a chance to beat one guy. We like those chances. We like those odds. But the few times that was called and that was the goal of the play, it was either a missed assignment or a miscue in the backfield where the ball was never even thrown. It never got the chance for that to happen through a missed assignment, through a miscommunication, so those week 1 issues that every team had for the Dolphins Sunday, they were magnified. Coach took advantage of every last one of them. Every last one of them. On the fumble, Tua had. It's a free runner. It's a free runner. He's one thing I'll give Tua credit for is he knows where his issues are in protection. He knows where his hots are. He knows where the threats are. And he also knows who's accounted for. So who's supposed to be blocked? If this person blitz, that person, he knows who's supposed to be blocked. So as he's taking that drop and going through his fake on a particular play, or he's taking a drop, looking this way, looking that way, he knows who's accounted for. So to be surprised by a free runner, try to get out of a jam and make a play, fumble. Do I excuse the fumble? Absolutely not. Tua's number one job is to protect the ball. He knows that. So 3 turnovers from number 1. Dolphins not winning many games. That's not a secret. 3 turnovers from Tua, Dolphins not winning many games. He can't have that. He can't allow that to be what's going on, what's happening on Sunday. Dolphins need Tua to be special, and he is special. He's a special player. He can do great things with the football. My belief into it hasn't changed. I still feel strongly about him. I still feel my dog can go out there and ball, and he will go out there and ball. His performance on Sunday, the 3 turnovers, cannot happen ever again. I have no problem saying that. No question at all. I hope that answers your question, Knight. I appreciate you. So that happened, right? And the best thing and the worst thing about the NFL, like equally, it's the best thing and the worst thing, is that it's one game. The best thing that is one game is because you have 16 more. You get to move on to the next. That one game don't count as 2 losses. It don't count as 3 losses. It counts as 1. No matter the score, no matter what happened. That 1 of 17 counts as 1. That's the best thing about it. The worst thing about it is that it's one game. And each one of these games holds so much weight because it's only 17. So it doesn't count for extra losses and all those things, but it's one game that now you're behind. You're one game behind one team in your division already, one game behind in the AFC. So it's the blessing and the curse that it's only one game. No matter the score, it only counts as 1 loss. And you can move forward. It has nothing to do with next week. But also that it's one game. It's 1 of 17. It's not many. It's not the NBA. You don't have 82 games. It's not the MLB. You don't have 162 games. That's 17. So they all count. They all have a lot of weight to it. So that's the best thing and the worst thing about the NFL. 1. So let's move on. Shake back. How can the Dolphins shake back week 2? How can the Dolphins shake back week 2? For me, and listen, some of y'all might call me too optimistic, say that those are my brothers over there. They are. I love them. A lot of them over there. Got great relationships with them. We're talking football. We're not talking anything, and we're not talking friendships right now. We're talking football. From a football standpoint, from my football knowledge, it's early. They took a bad loss Sunday. Bad loss. No question about it. It counts as a loss, counts as 1 loss. What I am always looking for, always, is the response. How do these guys respond to all the noise that they'll hear this week? How do they respond internally to the embarrassment of a 33-8 loss? How do they respond? It's early. 1 week into the season, a lot of cleaning up to do, a lot of rust to knock off, a lot of timing, a lot of chemistry to be built. They're in a race. And this is the old Sean Payton saying. It's a blind race to improve. Across the league, you have no idea what every team is doing, what every team looks like. You have no idea who is performing at a high level, who's operating at a high level. You do not know until this thing starts. So the entire offseason and preseason is a blind race to improve. Week 1 is our first chance to see who's doing what. Across the league, we have no idea. The Dolphins don't know what the Ravens look like. They don't know what the Rams look like. Nothing until week 1. Then you start to get some film and you start to get the identity of these teams. So in that blind race to improve this week, the Dolphins have a lot of cleaning up to do, a lot of room for improvement. In my opinion, that's a beautiful thing. That's a great spot to be. You know where you need to work. You know what needs to improve. You know what you need to work on. You know what it needs to look like this weekend. It's early. Let's see the response. Let's see the response of some of our favorite players. Tua has to have a strong performance this week, and I'm counting on him to do so. I'm counting on him to have a strong performance, to lead the offense, to go down and score points. I'm counting on him to do so. The big three, the playmakers, the weapons, Tyreek, Waddle, Achane. I'm counting on them guys. I'm counting on them guys to make plays, to take the momentum, to change the trajectory of a game. I'm counting on those guys. The offensive line up front. And a lot of those guys played really well. Patrick Paul played really well. Lights out in pass protection, had great blocks in the run game. Brewer the same way. A lot of those guys. I saw some really good blocks from Jonah. All those guys. Some of those guys they played well. You got to go do it again. Plus more. Even better. Even cleaner. Better communication. Better cohesiveness and chemistry. Let's go. I believe that they will be able to do that. And I'm not just talking just to talk. They don't pay me. I'm done. I'm retired. It's over with. I'm talking from a fan perspective as well. Like, I want to see that. I'm a fan of the Dolphins. I'm a Miami Dolphin. I'm a New Orleans Saint and a Miami Dolphin. Like, so I'm not apologizing for that. You feel me? That's what it is. I won't be oblivious and blind if they're not playing well consistently, consecutive weeks. We got to talk about that. It's week 1. I want to see the response of these guys. I want to see the response of a lot of these guys that I'm a fan of for their football performances, what they do on a football field. I'm looking to see that. Defensively, I want to see that D-line dominate. They got to come in this weekend against New England, dominate. The pass rush, Chop, JP, Chubb, Judon, Zach Sealer. Let's see it. They didn't get a chance to pass rush Sunday. It was the perfect storm for the Colts. If the Colts had early turnovers, they fall down 10-0 to the Dolphins, that game looks completely different because the pass rush gets to go get after Daniel Jones. It never happened. He never had to be in obvious passing situations. They were able to manage and control the game through turnovers in their offensive execution. That's what happened. But let's see that D-line get busy this week against the Patriots. Let's see that. Jordan Brooks and T. Dodd, those guys, they flew around. They made plays. Let's get off the field on third down. And in the secondary, I want to see them guys contest every throw. Get in people's jersey, man. Contest every throw. This second week, week 2, after the disaster of a first week, let's see the response. This is what you want to see, the response. That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. It's all about the response. 1 week does not carry over into the second week. It doesn't guarantee you anything to the following week. If I'm not mistaken, in 2023, the Miami Dolphins played the Denver Broncos and we dropped 70 points. 7-0 in an NFL game at home against the Denver Broncos. The next week, we go to Buffalo and get smacked, whooped. What happens in 1 week does not equate to the next. It doesn't matter. It's the beauty of the sport. It's a 1-week season. So let's see how they respond. Just because we put up 70 against the Broncos doesn't mean we would go do the same thing the next week. We did not. Just because the Dolphins lose in a landslide, 33-8 against the Colts, week 1. Let's see what week 2 look like. Let's see it. All right, my guys, you got me going. All right. You got me going here talking about the Dolphins. And I'm really looking forward to Sunday. Don't want to fast forward it at all. I don't want to rush to Sunday. This week of practice and preparation for all these teams, all of them. Every team that's 0-1, they can't wait for Sunday. They can't wait to get a chance to go out there and prove themselves and go out there and do it. Every team that's 0-1, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, every single one of them can't wait to go out there and get another opportunity to go get a W. Dolphins in the same boat. It's early. It's early. All right, guys, on the set, I will transition. So on this show, every Monday, every Thursday. On Mondays, we review the games. I'll talk about the matchups that I'm looking forward to and watching closely, especially in the trenches. I had a lot of great matchups this week. We'll definitely dive into Penei Sewell versus Micah Parsons. That was a heavyweight bout that I want you guys to really listen and pay attention to how that played out and why the Packers were able to ultimately get the win against the Lions in a dominant fashion, honestly. But before I do that, I have a staple, a centerpiece in media across the NFL. He's down in New Orleans. He's been in New Orleans for many, many years. He is the face of New Orleans Saints media and have been one of the most trusted and respected voices in media since he's stepped into the game. That's Nick Underhill. He'll be joining me now. We will talk the New Orleans Saints recap. My dog.
This is crazy, man. This is like a weird role reversal here, man. Because like I've been asking you for 5 minutes, like your whole life. Now you're asking me for 5 minutes. It ain't. It's weird, man. It's weird.
Hey, life happens fast, bro. Life happens fast. How you doing today?
No doubt about it, man. Doing great, man. I just got done up there at the Saints, listening to Kellen Moore kind of explain the game, some of the miscues they had this week. You know, I think it's a I just heard you talking about the Dolphins and being eager to see how they bounce back. I'm kind of eager to see really how the Saints bounce back, specifically like with the coaching and just kind of the preparation and just how they 13 accepted penalties, man. Like it was kind of a crazy game. I think that's the most in the NFL over the last 8 years, actually. So it was it was a little bit of a rough start for him, but we'll see how they respond to it.
Okay. Nick, before we dive into the Saints and we get into the penalties and everything that happened on Sunday in New Orleans, did you get a chance to watch the Dolphins game? What's your take?
I didn't, but I was stat watching though. I was shocked that Daniel Jones came out there and hung that many points and apparently looked the way he did. I saw the highlight. I was surprised by it, man. Like I was kind of questioning that decision for the Colts. I thought, going away from Anthony Richardson, maybe not necessarily super quick, but it just felt like they were giving up on him after a rough year. I was surprised to see him do it. I was surprised to see it go to Daniel Jones. I think it's probably a little bit of a weird game. Like, I don't think Daniel Jones is about to be a world beater or be this year's Sam Darnold or anything like that. But, it's week 1 in the NFL and weird stuff happens.
That's a fact. That's what I was about to ask. Do you think he will be this year's Sam Darnold? Like, because listen, I watched the film, Nick. He played well. He was comfortable. He was in control. He made necessary plays. He ran when he had to. It was impressive. Impressive first game. He also played with the lead the entire time, so he didn't have to go into obvious passing situations or wait for certain routes to come open. They played with the lead, so he was comfortable.
I just got to see a little more, like Josh Dobbs, there's guys all the time that give you a couple week run and then week 4, week 5, week 6, and the league catches up to them and they go back to kind of being what they were. There's like one Sam Darnold, there's one Geno Smith. Like it doesn't happen too often. I mean, he is a guy with the pedigree and maybe he is in a spot with much better coaching. Shane Steichen is highly regarded by a lot of people around the league. And I've heard from people who have said, hey, look, if he ever gets a QB, like he could be a problem. They've been on that search forever since Andrew Luck left, just hasn't worked out. Yeah. Maybe he finally got a guy that can pick up the system, but like I'm going to need to see it in October before I'm ready to buy in on it.
Facts. No, that's a fact. That's a fact. We'll see. We'll see. All right, Nick, let's transition. Let's talk to the New Orleans Saints versus Arizona Cardinals. The Saints almost were able to complete the comeback and potentially tie the game up or even go for the win with the last play of the game or last 2 plays of the game against the Arizona Cardinals, but came up short. I know you spoke on the penalties. What impressed you about the Saints? What did you walk away from the game with? And he was like, all right, I can get behind this.
There's a couple things, I think going into it, I was a little bit worried that maybe it was going to be a completely unwatchable product. Like they don't have a quarterback that's ever won a game in the NFL on the roster other than Taysom, who's not really a quarterback anymore. So it's just kind of hard to know what to expect going into it. Brand new staff, new coach. Brandon Staley's over there. He's had some success, but felt like an aging defense a little bit. The thing that impressed me the most is, man, like on defense, they are featuring their playmakers. And that was something I heard from a lot of players with the previous regime. That was a source of frustration, was that it was more about the scheme than maybe just doing some stuff to put a guy in a position to make a play. Like Demario Davis is really good at blitzing. Do that more. Tyron's a good ball hawk that can read the field. Put him in positions to do that. But it was kind of like a very tight scheme. And I think they just put these guys in some spots to succeed out there. And Cam Jordan gets a sack and a half. He's batting down a pass, stopping the run, just looks amazing in it. And last year, you look at where he's lined up, and they had him playing defensive tackle beginning of the season, and then like it's a lot of 5-tech, just real tight to it. He's out there in like the wide 9. There were a couple shots breaking down the all 22 where like they actually had to zoom out to get how wide Cam was to get him in the shot. And he's making these plays, man. And his first sack, shout out to the set, comes off the right side of the line. It was his 17th sack of his career from that side. He does not get sacks from the right side of the line. And he got one, his first play of the game. And I remember you guys talking about that on here. But yeah, man, that stood out to me. Play design on the offense stood out to me. I don't think execution on offense necessarily did, but going through it, there's a lot of stuff on there where it's just very, very creative. And I think once they get into their rhythm, they'll start hitting that stuff a little bit more. But I just think that is a little bit loose right now. And I was a little bit surprised by how not quite put together it was, just in terms of the details of being maybe ready to, and I'm not trying to talk crazy or be anything like that, but like there were just times where it didn't feel like they were prepared to like line up, motion, and get a snap off. And 13 penalties, I think 8 were pre-snap on the offense. Like that's kind of a crazy number. It's a little bit unforgivable.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the penalties were the biggest issue for me. And I know it's week 1 and every team has those, especially early in the season, but that number that's alarming. That's something that I'm sure they'll be paying close attention to, have to clean up, and especially with most of them being pre-snap. Like some of the penalties that happen, a guy make a quick move, you tug his jersey, like holding or something. Those happen sometimes, but a lot of false starts and misalignments, like those have to get cleaned up really, really quickly in order to move on and compete this season. For me and what I saw that I'm like, man, I'm excited about, I was impressed with Spencer Rattler. I was impressed with his ability to make plays, extend plays, use his legs, how fearless he was standing in the pocket. Some of the throws that he delivered, tight windows, even some that wasn't corralled, that wasn't brought in, but they hit the hands. Man, I was impressed by Spencer. I don't know exactly what that means for the future, but he's somebody that's like, I can tell he's in there, and it's not like I'm here to just hold this spot until Tyler Shuck is ready. He's somebody that's like, this is my spot. I want to own this spot and be here for the foreseeable future. Where we have to see it. We have to see it throughout the course of the season. But he has that confidence in himself, and that's where it starts for me. Like I see that from him. He's like, I'm not just filling a spot like this. I'm here. You know what I mean? I love that.
That might be like the most confident individual I've ever met in my whole entire
Really?
life, man. Like
Okay.
he just carries himself like that. And if I was a player on the team, he's a guy I would want to get behind. Like he just kind of has that level of belief. And I think he kind of plays with that too. Like there's just like a fearlessness from him in the pocket. Like, oh, he's not a big dude. He'll get his ribs like stretched out, trying to make that throw down the field and just stand in there and just know he's going to get lit up. And he don't care. Like he just kind of plays like that. For me, like, I agree. And man, that throw he made at the end of the game, like to Juwan Johnson, like that was a Drew Brees type throw, like just right over the safety's hand, like full extension. I mean, Juwan's got to make that catch. Very tough play to make. Like I'm not hating on him for not making it, but $30 million, like you got to come down with that. But yeah, man, he played fearless. He played really good. The only thing I kind of want to see, and I think it was probably more Kellen Moore than him, is he only averaged 4.65 yards per completion. Like that number's got to go up. Number's got to go up. You got to, stretch it out a little bit. Juwan catches that. There was another pass down the field that got dropped. Like there were a couple, that number's probably going up a little bit, but everything was kind of 10 yards and then except for a couple of attempts. Like at some point you're going to have to go down the field. But I think that was more coaching than anything. And we seen it at the end of the first half where they declined to take that drive, call a timeout. They would have about 1:10 left. Instead, like they just kind of let the clock run out because they didn't want to risk losing. So I think it was just kind of like a very tight game plan. But within it, I thought he executed pretty well, gave him a chance to win.
I completely agree. That's one thing I did want to see from him. Push the ball down the field, especially with the playmakers, like with the guys that he has on the outside. That is their strength. That's their biggest strength. Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, like letting those guys get down the field more. I would love to see that. And I couldn't really, I'm glad you said that. I couldn't really tell if it was a coaching decision to keep everything pretty close and, give some easier throws, easier reads, or was Spencer just kind of checking down and going to the shorter throws in his progression. I couldn't tell where it came from, but in order for the offense to really open up, they got to have a down the field threat.
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. Like, and he kind of plays like that too. Like camp, that there were a lot of 15-play drives, but there was a lot of like horizontal attack that we kind of see it in this, and they were trying to stretch it out, get it to Chris on the outside, get it to Shaheed on the outside, let him run a little bit. But I think it was a very, very risk averse thing, and I think with the staff, like they're gonna do stuff and they're gonna learn from it and probably get better. All these penalties, like I think that's a little bit due to kind of maybe the way they prepared this summer. Me and you had talked a couple times, like, I'm asking you questions about like, is this the way it's supposed to be or whatever? But I think they're going to see some of this stuff and they're going to go back and they're going to fix it and they're going to improve it. And I think, once he starts to trust Spencer a little more, they'll open up the playbook a bit. But look, he's fearless, man. He'll let it rip. If they let him let it rip, like I think we'll see some of that. But I think he needs to, and I think Kellen just definitely needs to get to a place where he's a little bit more comfortable. I don't think you want to go out there trying to win a game because of Spencer, but I think you need to trust him a little bit more than you did in week one. But I think that'll come, with time. And if he's out there for a few weeks, they execute okay. I think you see that playbook start to open a little more.
I agree. And we would love to see that. We would. All of us, all the Saints fans, all the football fans would love to see that. We also love to see AK get many more touches, catches, everything. Like the ball is in his hands, man. He's different. He's special, man. He's just like it looks different. And AK isn't the fastest, he's not the biggest, but when he has the ball, like it's just something's different about the dude, man. He's like a superhero.
He's crazy, man. Like it was kind of weird there too. Like they had a couple tough first time runs in the second half. I think Arizona made a couple of adjustments because they were really running the ball well early on in that game, and then it kind of got a little bit fixed. They did the halftime interview again, and he said, "Hey, we got to stop Alvin," and they did, like coming out in the third quarter. But like there wasn't an adjustment to that. The adjustment was we're going to stop running, which I don't know. I thought that was a little bit weird too. But yeah, I think any game you're coming out of and AK doesn't have 20, 25 touches, like I just think that's probably a misuse of your resources to some degree because yeah, he's that guy. And look, the thing is with him, like in that first half, they were getting him the ball. And if you get him a little bit of space, like the yards before contact for him for like 2 years with Pete Carmichael as the OC was like a yard or less. Like last year with Kubiak, that number got back up. you see that number rise, like his yards per carry is, second half of the year, everybody got hurt and it dipped again. But if you get Alvin in that first contact and is a guy that's a linebacker, a safety, a cornerback, he's breaking that tackle. Like nobody can tackle that man. His contact balance is second to none. Just get him through that the trenches, and he's going to make things happen. So I think sticking with it is probably the thing that works. I mean, we've been watching it now for 8 years. This is year 9. Like, just give Alvin the ball. Good things are usually going to happen.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Definitely got to get AK more touches and in the passing game too. Like I was shocked to see not any screens or option routes and things that we've come accustomed to watching him do, and at a very high level. But I'm sure Kellen Moore, he's making those adjustments, and we'll see a lot more AK, and they will push the ball down the field, some call shots or something, but gotta threaten the back end. And you can get those safeties to back up with Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave's speed on the outside. You get those safeties to back up, you start handing that ball to AK, man. They got it. Listen, I was outside of the penalties, I like what I saw from the Saints. They didn't come away with the win. They competed their butts off. They made some plays. Spencer made some plays. He showed his fearlessness. He showed his leadership. Defensively, they played well. Kyler Murray was a problem. Extending plays, just timely first downs. Timely first downs. Trey McBride as well. Like, it was tough. It was tough. But the defense played, man, they played pretty well to me. It's just they had a really hard time getting off the field on third down. But as a whole, I like what I saw from the Saints. I like what I saw. I'm looking forward to next week.
Yeah, I agree, man. It was way more put together than I expected. That's tied to expectations. Like my expectations for this season are that, it's a rebuilding year. There's probably going to be a lot of tough games, but man, they were playing hard. The ball population was good. Like, there's just stuff about watching this game that like kind of felt a little bit like there was some healing had taken place. Cause like the last year, like a lot of games you're watching, you're like, man, is that guy like running his route? Like, is he trying to make a tackle here? That like they were playing hard, which is just, you're on the other side of kind of the downfall of the empire, really. And this is kind of the start of the rebuild. And yeah, I'm with you, man. Like, I thought they looked okay. I think this week's probably going to be tough. Next week they got Seattle. Then they got Buffalo. It'll be interesting to see kind of what the temperature is with the team once they get to the other side of that, because that could be a really tough stretch. Kittle's not playing, and they're saying Purdy might be out. So, what's up?
I hope they smack Buffalo. Smack them. I want Buffalo to lose every game.
Oh, why is that, man? Tell me why you're mad, man.
It's just part of the rivalry, bro. Just being a Dolphin is just, I want them to lose every game badly.
Yeah, I got you.
They won't. I know they won't.
I think you're gonna. Yeah.
Listen,
well,
Nick.
All right. Well, I mean, good luck with that, man. I don't think it's gonna work out.
I fell asleep last night, and I think the Ravens were up by 9 in the fourth quarter. And I go look at the score today, and to see the Bills won is just, bro, it pissed me off. But Josh Allen is, bro, he was balling. Like, I can't take nothing away from the dude.
He's amazing, man. Yeah, he's different, man. Like, just having that big ass dude, he can just move the pocket, stand out there. Like, it's crazy. It feels like a cheat code. He's fun to watch. Like, yeah, too bad y'all hate him, man, because like that's one of the better watches in the league right now. So sorry for that. That might be their run too, because it feels like the Chiefs are like kind of at the end of it right now. So it might be their time for the next couple of years.
I hope not, bro. Anybody but them. And I'm not even a hater. I'm not hating on Josh Allen. I don't hate Josh Allen. You can't hate him. Like, he's a baller, plain and simple. I don't want to see Buffalo Bills win and go to the Super Bowl. Like, that's terrible for anything surrounding Miami in that division. Like, we don't want to see that. We don't. Sorry, not sorry.
Good luck with it, man.
All right, Nick. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for jumping on the set after this week 1. I'm sure we'll do this again sometime soon, man. It was fun being in New Orleans. They honored me as a legend of the game, and I was truly honored. It was an amazing weekend for me and my family. We were able to enjoy the game. sitting and watching with Mrs. Benson. Just an incredible time down there. I had a press conference that people heard some of my story, and then being recognized at the game, doing the Who Dat chant, just that energy and electricity was something special, man. So I appreciate you always, my brother.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, for your listeners, man, his speech, like the press conference, it's on our YouTube channel. Listen to it; it'll change your life. Like he Tron like showed his soul in that. It was amazing. And man, this man right here, same person off the air that he is right here, probably even better. Like one of the realest people I know. Support the channel, subscribe to it, all that stuff, man. I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, my dog.
Take it easy.
All right, Nick. That was Nick Underhill. Find him at NOF, New Orleans Football, his show, his channel, his network. Those guys, him, Mike Triplett, they do a great job covering all things New Orleans Saints. That is the spot. It is the place to be. I know we are getting close to Monday Night Football starting to kick off. I wanted to hit my trench matchups and talk some PFF grades before we get out of here for the evening and we all sit and watch Monday Night Football. But the biggest matchup that I had and that I was watching closely and went back and watched the film, Penei Sewell versus Micah Parsons. That was a showdown. That was exactly what we wanted to see. And the only issue of that matchup was Micah didn't play that much. Like they had him on a snap count. He had 0 training camp. He sat out of Dallas Cowboys training camp as he was trying to get his new contract. Ended up getting traded to the Green Bay Packers before week 1. And he goes out to Green Bay and they beat the Detroit Lions in pretty much dominant fashion. Michael was, man, he looked like he never missed a practice. He was explosive. He was relentless. His sack that he got on Jared Goff. If you can go back and watch Micah's pursuit, it's scary. This dude, to be as big as he is, running as fast as he is, he hawked Jared Goff down for his sack, and it was just like, man, this dude is different. He changes the dynamic of the Green Bay Packers team. This team is a Super Bowl contender, and they already were a playoff team last year, but now they are one of the Super Bowl contending favorites with Micah Parsons. If this guy can stay healthy, what he brings to that defense, what he brings to this sport is special. In this matchup, Penei Sewell versus Micah Parsons, they only had a few opportunities to go against each other, and those opportunities were one-on-one. If I had to pick a winner, I would say Micah. Micah was able to disrupt Jared Goff. He was able to stress Penei Sewell. He didn't beat him clean for a sack or anything like that, but he did get him out of position. He did show up in Jared Goff's face quite a few times. He was able to use a long arm technique, pushing Penei Sewell's inside shoulder open, drawing back a lot of pressure that kept Jared Goff pretty uncomfortable in his snaps that he did play. One snap in particular, Micah Parsons lined up tight on Penei Sewell. Very quick inside move, and he showed up in Jared Goff's face. Jared Goff was rushed to make a throw, interception. So that's a play that does not show up in the stat sheet for Micah Parsons at all. It's a hurry or a pressure, but it's way more than that because it's an interception. Jared Goff doesn't make that throw. He doesn't rush that throw and is not intercepted by that safety, if not for what Micah Parsons is doing on the end, on the edge. So at some point, we're going to get video, and I'll be able to really like walk you guys through this is what happened, and this was the result. This is what happened in the trenches. This was the result on the play as a whole. And you guys will start to see more and more how much impact the O-line and D-line is having on every single snap. None of these touchdowns, none of these big plays, none of these interceptions, these things don't exist without the big guys up front, O-line and D-line. So in that matchup, I'll have to say Micah Parsons. Penei Sewell did have some impressive reps where he was able to keep Micah Parsons in check. But we're so used to Penei completely eliminating a rusher. He wasn't able to do that with Micah. And it was a fire battle. Those guys will face off again. They're in the same division now. It was dope to hear Micah talk about Penei Sewell, saying that he's his new rivalry. Lane Johnson was that rivalry for a long time, Cowboys, Eagles, and now it's Penei Sewell, Green Bay Packers, and Detroit Lions. So looking forward to that over and over. It's going to be fire. The other matchups I had was Tyler Smith and Tyler Booker for the Dallas Cowboys versus Jalen Carter of the Philadelphia Eagles. And I'm sure you all know we did not get that matchup. Instead, we got Spitgate. We got a whole spit investigation going. We see Jalen Carter spit on Dak Prescott before the game, before the first snap. He's ejected from the game. We go through a rain delay. Hours later, they show this other footage of Dak Prescott spitting in the direction of Jalen Carter. And now we got this whole Spitgate. I won't get into this situation much. I'll say from Jalen Carter, it cannot happen. It's selfish. It's embarrassing. It's disgusting. Like there's no place in the game for it. I'm sure he felt terrible about being kicked out the game and leaving his team out there as the best player on the defense. They need him, and he has to be to be able to handle his emotions and be out there. It was very unfortunate. So we didn't get that matchup from those guys. I had Dan Moore versus Nick Bonito, the Tennessee Titans versus the Denver Broncos. And Nick Bonito was definitely the winner in this matchup. Dan never looked comfortable to me. Nick Bonito's get off, his speed around the edge caused a lot of problems. And then Nick Bonito's his evolution as a rusher, how he's able to read pass blockers and pass sets. He knows when the guy's off balance, so he's making timely inside moves. Put a lot of pressure on Cam Ward. Cam Ward stood in and delivered a lot of great passes despite all the pressure that he was dealt with. But Dan Moore didn't look comfortable. He didn't look like he was imbalanced and was able to strike the way that we're accustomed to watching him do. So definitely looking for him to shake back in this second week, locking in on his technique and have a great performance in week 2. And lastly, my last matchup was Laramie Tunsil of the Washington Commanders versus the trio of rushers in New York with the Giants. That's Brian Burns, Abdul Carter, and Kayvon Thibodeau. It was a lot of business as usual for Laramie Tunsil. He was square, strong, locking down that left side pretty consistently. Abdul Carter was able to get a pressure on a miscommunication where Laramie Tunsil never took a set. He didn't get off the ball. Everyone else moved. The ball was snapped, and Laramie didn't move. So Abdul Carter was able to pressure Jaden Daniels on that one, and also he had an inside spin that looked nasty. It was serious. He had a nice inside spin, but Tunsil was able to get back in front of that and still keep him at bay. None of those guys really were able to challenge him much on the edge. So the winner of that matchup, Laramie Tunsil, for sure. As I close the set for tonight, I appreciate all you guys for staying in and hanging with me through this week 1 show. But as I close the set, I want to leave you guys with this. I think there were a couple statements made in week 1. I think there were a couple statements that were made. There was a couple situations where someone let the others know, or let the league know that they are here and they are for real. And those 2 statements that I think that were made, Justin Herbert, that's one. What he did against Kansas City Chiefs in Brazil on Friday was impressive. He made all the necessary plays, the big third downs that historically we've seen the Chiefs get to him, the pressure get to him, a turnover, not being able to execute. Friday night, he was able to climb that hurdle. He got over that hurdle. And I think that game was bigger than just a week 1 matchup. I think that he really wanted to make a statement to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs, and I think Justin Herbert did that. And the second statement I think that was made was Josh Allen. I'm not a Josh Allen fan because I'm a Miami Dolphin, but as a football player, you can't hate on this man. They talked about his MVP award last year, and Lamar Jackson had better numbers, X, Y, and Z. Lamar's the real MVP. Those guys faced off yesterday, and Josh Allen did everything he needed to do on an MVP level. Was able to walk away from that game with a win against another MVP player who played phenomenal. But I think that was more of a personal game. So I think Justin Herbert's game against the Chiefs and Josh Allen's game against the Baltimore Ravens were personal for both of these guys, and they both made statements. That was impressive. Woo, rolling tonight. All right, my guys. Monday Night Football starting real soon. I might as well drop a would you rather question before we get out of here. Like, why not? Got to stay consistent. Built on consistency. I had a good one earlier too. I was thinking about what was that? Well, give me just a second. Let me get y'all this question, chat. Don't leave me yet. Don't leave me yet. Oh, okay. It was all right. Would you rather? Here we go. Would you rather have really slow internet all the time? Really slow, like dial up or worse. Every time. Really slow internet every time, or be in rush hour traffic everywhere you go. Would you rather deal with really slow internet all the time or be in rush hour traffic everywhere you go? That's how we're going to close the show. For me, I might have to I don't know. It's tough. I might have to say rush hour traffic. I might have to say rush hour traffic. Because that slow internet just, and you don't think about it, we don't appreciate Wi-Fi and strong internet connection until you don't have none, until it's slow, to everything buffering and everything's loading. I don't know. So I might have to go with the rush hour traffic. Seriously. All right, everyone. This wraps up the set. I appreciate you all for coming in and joining me tonight. Shout out to the super chats. Shout out Josh Smith. Thank you. Appreciate you for sure. Shout out everyone that came through. Show love, man. Continue to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Send it to every single person that you know that rock with sports. Let them let me know. Let me know. Well, let them know that we're here. And shout out to all the super chats: Jonathan Newman, Jared, SP, Toby, Adam, Knight. I appreciate it. LFP, Tony. Shout out to all the super chats tonight. Show mad love, major love. I really appreciate you guys. I'll see you Thursday. Be here. We are on the set Thursday. For tonight, you guys get ready for Monday Night Football. I'm out.